السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله النبي الكريم. أما بعد، عباد الله، يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه العزيز بعد أن أقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: قد أفلح من تزكى. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, today we're going to continue our series on a day in the life of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And we had started from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam arising and waking up, and the du'as and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam woke up at the time of tahajjud, and the du'as that he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made. And whenever the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had a need to relieve himself, he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would go to the washroom, and we had discussed how the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would enter and exit the washroom. And then we had started to discuss wudu. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was in a constant state of wudu. There was rarely and barely a moment where the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was not in wudu. Being in the state of wudu as a believer is extremely necessary for a number of reasons. Being in wudu, it helps a person fight against the whispers of shayateen. Shaitan will constantly try to put whispers in your mind and to divert you from deen and to misguide you. And when you are in a state of wudu, that wudu has such an effect that you can fight the whispers of shaitan. Number two, or another reason. Sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He inspires us, or sometimes we get a feeling of reciting Quran or praying salah. You know, alhamdulillah, I just heard some good news. Something good happened in business. And you know, I just want to thank Allah and I want to pray 2 rakat. Or I'm feeling a little bit energetic, I'm feeling a vibe that I want to recite Quran. So we have this feeling where we want to offer 2 rakats to thank Allah, or we get this feeling that we want to recite Quran. But the problem is we don't have wudu. Do I want to make wudu? I have to get up, hold my sleeves up a little bit, get my arms wet, my face will be wet, my feet will be wet. I really want to go through that struggle right now. Now if I don't have a towel or a proper towel, I don't know if I want to make wudu right now. But if that person who had a feeling to do 2 rakats, or he had a feeling to recite Quran, he's already in a state of wudu, he can immediately pick up the Quran, he can open his phone, and he can start changing the pages, recite his Quran, and if he wants, he can offer 2 rakats. I just need to know where the Qibla is, I offer my 2 rakats immediately. How long would it take for someone to offer 2 rakats? But that feeling that we got, that we were inspired to do and offer 2 rakats, or inspired to recite Quran, we won't do it because we don't have wudu. And it's somewhat of an effort required to make wudu. So because we don't have wudu, we're not going to offer 2 rakats. How long does it take to offer 2 rakats? Nowadays it takes maybe less than 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes to offer 2 rakats, unfortunately. But the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he was happy, he prayed 2 rakats. When he received good news, he prayed 2 rakat. When he was concerned and he was worried and something was bothering him and a difficult task was in front of him, what did he sallallahu alaihi wasallam do? He prayed 2 rakats. At every given moment, the Prophet would offer 2 rakats. Sayyidina Bilal radiallahu ta'ala, his footsteps were heard in Jannah, preceding the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Bilal, what do you do? How come I hear your footsteps in Jannah? It's preceding me. I hear the footsteps and you're going before me. Ya Bilal, what is it? Ya Rasulullah, I don't know anything that I do. Maybe, perhaps it could be that after I make wudu, I offer 2 rakats of wudu. Tahiyyatul wudu. Ya Bilal, that is why. Allah loves those 2 rakats that you offer every time you make wudu. So the Prophet ﷺ had an attachment to salah. As a matter of fact, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, he said, جُعِلَتْ لِي قُرَّةُ عَيْنِي فِي الصَّلَاةِ or فِي صَلَاةِ. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, I find the coolness of my eyes in salah. I enjoy salah. It's such a good feeling. You know, when you really like someone and you enjoy their company, you just, like every given moment, you just want to go and sit with them. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, I enjoy salah. I feel so good when I pray salah. I feel sukoon in salah. I feel comfortable in salah. All my worries are gone in salah. When the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, when he said, Allahu Akbar, Allah is greater than everything that came to his mind. So if he's worried about the battle of Badr and he's looking at the 313 soldiers and the 313 Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala majma'een that they have, and against the well-equipped 1,000 soldiers who came with the intention to attack the Sahaba radiallahu majma'een, and the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to get his comfort, what would he do? Pray salah. Every time Prophet ﷺ had something on his mind, he would pray salah. Because when he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Allahu Akbar, everything on this dunya was behind him. So Allah might put us in our minds, in our hearts sometimes that we want to offer 2 rakats, but we don't offer those 2 rakats because we don't have wudu. So inshallah, from this moment forward, we're not just being inspired and mashallah motivated. No. From this moment forward, inshallah, every single person will make an effort to be in a constant state of wudu, inshallah. Okay. Now, there's a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a beautiful hadith, which is found in Sahih Muslim. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to Jannatul Baqi. He went to the Baqi cemetery. And he sallallahu alaihi wasallam made dua for them. And he said, may you be secured from the punishment. May you be protected from the punishment, O dwellers of the abode of the believers, of this Jannat al-Baqiyah or the cemetery. Whenever the Prophet would go to the cemetery, he was making dua for them. And he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to them, وَإِنَّا إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ بِكُمْ لَاحِقُونَ. And inshallah, we're going to meet you too, meaning we're going to the qabr too. And then he sallallahu alaihi wasallam was with the companions radiallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'een, and he said, I wish to see my brothers. I wish that we will see my brothers. I wish. وَدِدْتُ أَنَّا قَدْ رَأَيْنَا إِخْوَانَنَا. I wish we could see our brothers. The Sahaba radiallahu ajma'een were shocked. أَوَلَسْنَا إِخْوَانُكَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. Are we not your brothers, Ya Rasulullah? We're right here, Ya Rasulullah. We're your brothers. What are you saying? We're standing right in front of you. What do you mean you wish to see your brothers? We're right here. All Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam responded, Antum ashabi. You are my companions. وَإِخْوَانُنَا الَّذِينَ, and my brothers are those who have not seen yet. Meaning my brothers are those who believe in me and they haven't seen me. They're my brothers. They are my brothers. They haven't seen in me and they believe in me. Ya Rasulullah, there's going to be so many people on the face of this earth. After you leave, how will you recognize them? On the Day of Judgment, how will you know who are your brothers? The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I will be able to recognize my followers because they will come with bright faces and white limbs because of wudu. And I will arrive at Hawd al-Kawthar before them. Meaning, the Prophet ﷺ will see what is the passport, or the Prophet ﷺ can recognize us, what is the visa to be in the company of Al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on the Day of Judgment? Making wudu, to be in a constant state of wudu. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will recognize us, inshallah, and he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will recognize all of us, inshallah, because we will all be in a constant state of wudu. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will recognize us by our bright faces and our white limbs, inshallah, because of the wudu that we made. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will be at Hawd al-Kawthar, and only the ones whom he can recognize, he will call them to Hawd al-Kawthar. And according to some narration, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will take the water from the well of Kawthar and he will put it in your mouth himself with his Mubarak in his blessed hand. And it is said when you drink from that well, you will never be thirsty again. So that is why some of the du'as that we make, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us to be amongst those people who will drink from the Hawd al-Kawthar, from the well of Kawthar, inshallah. So how would the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam recognize us? By our wudu, inshallah. But now the question is, how do we make wudu properly? I don't want to touch the fiqh aspect, but just quickly from a Hanafi fiqh. The only thing that is fard, according to the Hanafi fiqh, is to wash your face one time, is to wash your arms up to your elbows one time, both arms, to do masa of 1/4 of your head, and to wash your feet up to the ankles one time, both feet. That is the fard. Everything else that I'm about to mention is sunnah and desirable and mustahab. This is according to the Hanafi. Now the method that I'm going to mention, inshallah, will join all the mazahibs. So for example, some of the mazhabs and school of thought say that it is necessary to make intention, or it's necessary to say Bismillah, or according to the Maliki school of thought, it is necessary to be successive in the sense that when you wash your right arm, then you have to wash your left arm before this arm dries up. According to some, you have to do it in order. According to the Hanafi, you can do your feet first if you want. You can do your face last if you want. But I mentioned the fard, or the obligation, according to the Hanafi school of thought. But I want to go over proper wudu, inshallah. Proper wudu. The wudu, what the Prophet ﷺ mentions, that gets full reward. Because that is what we want. We don't just want the obligations to be fulfilled. Okay, that's good too. But how do you make proper wudu? Now again, I've mentioned it so many times. My hope is that inshallah you can bring into your lives, and it can be a means of sadaqah jariyah for me. And then for it to be a means of sadaqah jariyah for you, it is your responsibility to go home, tell your wife and your children and everyone else that hasn't heard this lecture. And inshallah now you will get the reward of this sadaqah jariyah too, inshallah. Okay. First of all, the sunnah before making wudu, and even ghusl. We won't go over ghusl, we'll go over wudu for today, inshallah. Any impurity that is on your body, clean it. So if you just use the washroom, any feces or urine or any impurity, clean your clothes and your body of that impurity. Don't be in the state of wudu while your clothes are still impure. Your body is still impure, but yeah, you might be in the ritual purity of having wudu, but your body is dirty. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that we clean our clothes and our body if there's any impurity on it. That is from amongst the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So yeah, we might naturally do it. We might do it because we want to, but now we know that it's from the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before starting your wudu, it is sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to make intention. And the intention to pray salah, or to touch the Quran, or to be able to touch the Quran, and different many intentions you can have. Generally, the intention you should have is for salah. Now, salah is inclusive of everything. According to Hanafi, this is important actually. Because if you had the intention for the sake of just making intention and it wasn't for salah, then that's not the wudu for salah. You can't use that wudu for salah. So, generally, if you messed up the intention, so you need to have intention of salah, generally. Okay, you made the intention of salah. According to some of the school of thought, it's necessary. Then the first thing we do, we say Bismillah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim works. According to some narration, Bismillah walhamdulillah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim will be sufficient inshallah. Now one of the thick questions that we got when we were in Ifta, and we were doing our Mufti courses, let's say you forgot to say Bismillah. What should you do then? The same thing we do if we forget to say Bismillah before we eat food. Bismillahi awwalahu wa akhirahu. If you forgot to say Bismillah, you can say Bismillahi awwalahu wa akhirahu. So when we start our wudu, we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and we wash our hands up to our wrists. We wash our hands up to our wrists. According to some opinions, you clean your teeth, or you rinse your mouth first. So either you rinse your mouth first, or you use miswak first. So if you have miswak, use your miswak. If you don't have miswak, use your toothbrush. If you don't have a toothbrush, use your finger. But do something to clean your teeth. Now when you rinse your mouth, okay, we just put the water and we spit it back out. But the sunnah, if you're not fasting, it's to actually gargle it. You know, in America, mashallah, we talk about how clean and civilized we are, subhanAllah. If they only understood how we make wudu. There was no one cleaner than the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when you make wudu, when you rinse your mouth, gargle it. That is from the sunnah. Unless you're fasting, then you shouldn't gargle. So not swallow or gargle. Clean the bottom of your throat too. And then spit it back out 3 times. After that, put water in your nose. Again, excessive, as much as we can get up there. Then use your left pinky to clean your nose. Use your left pinky to clean your nose. Now your mouth and your nose are done. Then take the water in your hand and wipe your entire face, from the top of the forehead to the bottom of the chin. 3 times. The skin of the entire face, from the top of the forehead to the bottom of the chin, water must reach the skin that is visible. If someone has a very thin beard, then they can get it to the skin. If it's a thick beard, then you don't have to. We'll talk about that. So 3 times your face. Now for the men who have the beards, should take their fingers and interlock it through your beard. So those of us who do not keep a beard, we do not get to fulfill the sunnah. We are depriving ourselves of this sunnah. No, we say it how it is. So, after you wash your face 3 times, take your fingers and interlock it in the beard. Wet your beard. That's the face is done. After your face is done, there are some narrations according that throughout the dua, throughout making wudu, there's difference of opinion if this is authentic or not, but throughout the wudu, and these are in these famous books of dua, you know, Hisn al-Hasin and other books of du'as, that during your wudu, you can make this dua, Allahumma kfir li dhanbi, wa wasi' fi dari, wa barik li fi rizqi. Even, you know, without a doubt this will be considered mustahab, but we should not be talking about worldly matters while we're making wudu. So this keeps our mind on Allah while we're making wudu. Allahumma kfir li dhanbi, oh Allah, forgive my sins. Wa wasi' li fi dari, oh Allah, widen my grave or my abode. Wa barik li fi rizqi, and grant barakah in my sustenance. This is the dua you should be making while you are making wudu. Allahumma kfir li dhanbi, wa wasi' li fi dari, wa barik li fi rizqi. Okay, so you wash your face 3 times and then do your beard. After that, your arms up to the elbows. Again, you should be doing successively. So right when you wash your face, you went in your beard, go to your arms right away. Don't take your time. It's not like the sink is running. Turn the sink off or the water off if you're not using it. So when you're not using it, turn it off. So when you're wiping your head, turn the water off. You're wasting water. So anyways, right when you wash your face, after that, go to your arms immediately. Up to your elbows. Again, there is opinion that ahsan al-wudu means to do something ihsan in an excellent manner. So to actually do wudu, and according to in one opinion, that you do wudu from obviously your fingers all the way to halfway up to your shoulders. Yes, the elbow is necessary, but ihsan al-wudu is halfway up to your shoulders. Not up to the shoulders, halfway up to your shoulders. So you do that for your right arm, halfway up to your shoulders, and then immediately you do your left arm halfway up to your shoulders. After that, you will do masah of your forehead. According to some scholars, it is necessary to do masah of the entire head. Like I said, for the Hanafis, it's 1/4. Now, a method I'm going to show you has been mentioned by the ulama, but it's not necessarily sunnah, but it is a method that the ulama and the pious predecessors have mentioned. Okay, so now after you have done your up to your left arm, you will wash your hands again and then splash it a little bit and turn the sink off. You're wasting water. Turn the sink off. You don't need it to just run for the sake of running. Oh, I can afford the water bill. No, it's wasting water. And the beauty of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's ahadith, the Prophet said, do not waste water. And when you're making wudu, even if you are making wudu from a river. Prophet knew. There was some hikmah in the teachings of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So making wudu from river water, the Sahaba would be like, how can you waste river water? It's abundant water. It's unlimited water. So we turn on the sink, we can think the same thing. But the concept, the teachings of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the universal. Turn the sink off. Okay, now how do you make wudu? How do you do masa of your forehead? We're gonna obviously, we wash up to the wrist. Now we splash the water. Turn the sink off. Take these 3 fingers, from the pinky up to the middle finger. Take these 3 fingers. And then wipe your head. Wipe your head from the front all the way to the back. Okay. Now, you didn't use the back of your hand yet. Turn it around and wipe your nape. It is sunnah and mustahab to wipe your nape. Nape, the back of your neck. It is makruh to wipe your throat though. So not your throat, your nape, the back of your neck. So now the back hands have been used. Okay, what do we have left? We have these 2 fingers left. You take these 2 fingers and you put the index finger inside of your ear. So now inside of your ear, you clean it. And then you take the thumb and you do the back of your ears with your thumb. Now your entire hand was used for masa. We won't call this sunnah, but the ulama have put this together with the wisdom that you have wiped with clear, pure wiped water over the entire head, including your ears. Okay, now when you have done masa, now you can turn the water back on. If we're sitting down, it is also sunnah to sit down. And if we can, face the qibla. 2 things, when you build a house, things that we don't think, but our ulama thought about. When you build a house, make sure that you can see if you can have a place where you can sit down and do wudu. If you can't, then stand up, but make sure the sink is in a direction where you're facing the qibla. And when you make your toilets, make sure you're not facing the qibla and your back is not towards the qibla. Not things that we think when we build a house. Or we're buying a house. We probably don't even tell our children this, but these are clearly against the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam when you use the washroom, to not face the qibla and not to have your back towards the qibla. So after you have done masa of your head and your ears, then you're going to wash your foot or your feet up to your ankles, and even then, do it halfway on the shin. Okay, now we need to make sure that between our toes the water gets there too. Again, when you clean something, you use your left hand at all time. So take your left pinky finger and go between your toes, starting from the smallest toe, so the pinky toe we can call it, the smallest toe. And you go between your right foot. Then when you do your left foot, again you use your left hand. Use your left pinky. After that, again, halfway on the shin. Now, ankle is front, but halfway on the shin will be ihsal al-wudu. Now your wudu is complete. After you make wudu, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu rasuluh. According to some ulama, generally every single time the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did shahada, even in the khutbah of salah, the khutbah of Jum'ah, or the khutbah of Eid, or any time the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did shahada, he generally had a habit of raising his finger. So some ulama say it is sunnah to raise your fingers and say, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. And then the final dua, Allahumma ja'alni min al-tawabin wa ja'alni min al-mutatahhirin. Oh Allah, make me amongst those people who do tawbah, who repent, and make me amongst those people who purify themselves. SubhanAllah, how beautiful this is. While we're making wudu, all of our minor sins have been forgiven. By this dua, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reminding us something. Your minor sins are forgiven by making wudu. But in order for your major sins to be forgiven, what do you need to do? Do tawbah. Okay, we have purified our body. Okay, wal mutatahhirin, but purify your soul too. This is a proper method of making wudu. We just make wudu maybe when we've been accustomed to and cultured to. But there is a method that was beloved to Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So inshallah, I'm hoping from this day forward that every person is making wudu properly. And there are different opinions too. But this was a general concept and the method of how An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made wudu, how he started his wudu, and how he completed his wudu. Inshallah, not from next week, but inshallah in 2 weeks we'll continue how the Prophet put on his clothes and the method of making dua when he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam put on his clothes. Inshallah on Tuesday I will be going to Umrah, so I won't be here next week. Inshallah I will be here from the following week. Inshallah I have intention to make dua for everyone, make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes our journey easy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our Umrah easy and accept our Umrah. And if I remember, I will try to send salawat upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on behalf of the entire community. Jazakum Allahu khairan wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Just very quickly, inshallah, an announcement. This week's food has not been sponsored yet. I forgot to announce it in the WhatsApp group. Last week was sponsored. This week has not been sponsored. So if anyone is willing to give $300 to sponsor the food for this week, please let me know. Or let me know if you would like to sponsor this week. Also, we still have 2 more bills we need to sponsor for this week, which is 2 electric bills. Each bill is about $300. And inshallah, as the weather is getting better, we won't have to turn the AC on as much, inshallah. If anyone would like to sponsor any of these 3 things, please let me know. Jazakumullahu khairan.